It's Thursday night, and it's time to unwrap Las Vegas right here on VANR. That's VegasAllNetRadio.com, which means it's time for Vegas Unwrapped. The phone lines are open at 702-483-4444. Now, without further ado, here are your hosts, Aaron Phillips and Ricky Cash.
And good evening, everybody there in Radio Land. Welcome to what is going to be the final 2014 show of Vegas Unwrapped. Since the next couple of Thursdays is Christmas and New Year's, and there's a couple of great football games going on New Year's, so Mr. Cash and I are going to take the next couple of weeks off, and which is good, because we're both playing hurt. Mr. Cash?
You bet we are.
Yes, Mr. Cash just arrived at the studio, even though we parked 30 minutes ago because of his leg. He's been dealing with some leg issues, but he's a trooper. He's here tonight in studio, and I'm here still dealing with the kidney stones. But by the time we come back, Mr. Cash, in 2015, on January 8th, which is my 26th wedding anniversary,
How about that?
health will be done. We'll be ready to rock and roll,
We must be.
because it can't get any worse than this.
You know, the sciatica thing, I figured it out. Remember that little charity event we did a few weeks ago?
The go-kart race?
Yeah, and as I recall, I hadn't had any problems prior to that.
Prior to that.
But boom, 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 you know, I kept saying, why am I keep getting hit in the back?
And I was worried for the same reason for me with my stones about getting
Yeah,
hit in the back.
yeah, because you've been dealing with that since September.
Ugh.
So between the two of us, I wanted to check out your ER again.
Yes,
But only this time I went over to Centennial. I got to tell
I'm
you,
not going over there.
well, I was in and out in 15 minutes.
Wow.
I was into the treatment room in
Right.
15 minutes. They were great.
Well, did you go over there just to kind of spread the wealth?
Well, I wanted to make sure, just in case they were too crowded for you.
Oh, I got
You had
you.
another place to, they're all part of the same group.
Who is?
The Centennial.
Oh, yes, the
and-
Valley Medical System.
Yeah, they really are.
Yes, they
because
are.
When they walked in, they said, Mr. Marsh, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? I can't complain. The doctors and the nurses and everybody in the Surgeon Center there was great. So I'll be at it again on Tuesday at 6:30 in the morning. I got to be at Summerlin Hospital to check in and get the laser treatment, get the zap, and get cleaned out, and hopefully they'll get the stent out, because I'll tell you what, that's been more painful than the actual stone has been.
No question. But I got to give shout outs, though, to both Summerlin Hospital and Centennial. At least their emergency rooms, they're efficient.
Yes.
You know, the people in there couldn't be nicer. You know, had x-rays this time, the time before ultrasound. I'll tell you what, other than losing my voice a little bit, it's not a terrible experience.
Yeah,
You know, a
well-
lot of people feel very nervous and a lot of trepidation about going to hospitals.
Well, you got to do what I mean, even with me, my doc told me after I made my first visit to my primary, and, I had the ultrasound and everything. He said, look, he says, if you start feeling pain again, he says, don't come back to the primary. He says, there's nothing I can do.
Go right to the
Go
ER.
right to the ER, tell them you're in pain and what's going on, and they can start all the treatment stuff. So I agree with you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like, with urgent care, and those urgent cares are good too, don't make no
Right.
mistake about it.
But they can't,
They're not nearly as I don't want to say efficient, but they're not nearly as ready to do some
Not in
serious
severe
treatment.
cases, right,
And I
right.
think that's pretty good.
Yeah, they can't necessarily handle that, but and they'll only refer you to the hospital anyway in severe cases. That's how I ended up in the hospital last year with the cellulitis. I went to Quick Care. They said, "What are you doing here? You should be over in an ER somewhere."
But you know what? It's interesting. We've talked about this for almost 6 years on the radio.
Right,
How Vegas gets a bad rap on everything.
right.
Healthcare is not right at the top of the list, but it's right up there.
Yeah, it's
And you know what? Every single experience that I've had in the
Right.
20 years that I've been here, with hospitals and medical
Right.
treatment, stuff like that, it's just as good as it would have been
Absolutely.
anywhere else in the world.
absolutely.
I believe it.
Well, listen, folks, we got a great show tonight. Our phone number 702-483-4444. Our Skype line, if you want to Skype us, is Vegas All Net Radio. I am on my Facebook page. If you want to send messages, it's under, of course, Aaron Phillips. You can check me out there. Send us some messages, call in, whatever you want to do. But tonight's show in our first hour, we have a slew of guests coming in from an organization called Business Connectors.
We know all about those
Yes,
guys.
I'm a member of this networking group. They will be here. We're going to talk about the group, the power of networking, introduce our audience to the businesses that are involved, and kind of give everybody a full scope of all that's going on. So, they'll be here in the first hour. And then in the second hour, our good friend Dave Paget from DNR House of Diamonds will be in the second hour. So he'll be here to talk about some new things that are going on with DNR. And they've got a new program on their website, so they've got some neat things to talk about.
I think I know why he's really coming in.
What, you owe him money?
Yeah.
Did you bring a check?
No, but we have an arrangement.
Oh, okay. And your guy spoke to his guy and everything
Yeah,
else.
well, sure.
And also Doing It With Styles will be on later, and our dear friend Stella from Down Under will be with us. She'll be calling in at the top of the second hour. So we've got a busy show to wrap up 2014. And by the way, I want to thank everybody for checking out last week's show, which we dedicated to Jimmy Bryan on YouTube. The YouTube count is just going bananas. Obviously, I don't know what the radio downloads will be. Won't know them till the end of the month. But I want to thank you all for supporting that show last week. And of course, when I was on with Mike and Sandy this week, they talked about the show. And I told them, I said, you know, when I listened to the playback, I was on the floor for the second hour.
Oh, they're great.
I mean, because, you know, as I always say this, you know, when you're doing a show, you're not listening to the show. You know, we're directing, we're programming, we're doing, and we're interviewing. But the podcast value for me and for you has been our learning tool for the last 6 years.
Always been that.
So I got to listen to last week's show as a listener.
It's a screamer.
And the first 10 minutes when Mike is just standing there,
Right.
not saying a word, till he finally came up with the first joke.
And then he came
And then
and
that was
rattled
it.
them off.
And then everything else in that last hour and 10 minutes was just bananas. And I just was laughing hysterically. It was crazy. So we have guests coming in from our first segment. They're coming in and getting settled in the studio. We'll have them on in a few minutes, and we'll get them on and get them settled here shortly after our first break. Any shout outs that you have, Mr. Cash?
But just my usual people, you know, the people that seem to think we're really good.
I guess.
They listen to us all week.
Absolutely. Now,
Every
John,
week.
you had one that you were talking about today.
Kathy from Henderson.
Kathy from Henderson that you met earlier today while you were out and about town. So Kathy from Henderson by way of Detroit.
And her husband.
And her husband by way of Detroit, you said, right?
Yep,
So we want to thank you.
And I think also by way of Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Oh, and Jamaica, that's right.
Jamaica man.
to Detroit to Henderson. I think they made a wrong turn somewhere in Albuquerque or something. So we want to thank you for checking in and listening in. We'll have some good stuff for you. You can check out any of our podcasts at vegasunwrapped.net is our website. You can go onto our YouTube channel, check out all of our videos, well, all of our interviews, but our shows have really been taped, since July, August? September, somewhere around there.
Right.
So
Middle
we've
of
got about
August.
3 or 4 months worth of YouTube shows up there as well, so.
I was talking to my buddy in Charlotte today,
Lois.
and she wishes you success on your procedure on
Ah.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, she knows all about what's going on out here.
Yes, she does. Thank you, Lois. I'm sure she's listening tonight,
Yeah, she is.
and we appreciate that. JPEG, you doing okay tonight?
Yes.
All right, our videographer, what was your official title? Director of
Visual
Visual
Media.
Services.
Got
Yes.
Visual Media.
Visual Media, sorry.
And he's got a new real-time gig.
I know, he's like the only working class in our group right now.
Wait a minute!
Well, and then
Oh,
there's
yeah, that's
Bobcat.
right. Then there's
Then there's
Bobcat.
Bobcat, who works for the station, who works so many hours. So you ought to just buy the station.
You got some money?
Yes, I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
trying.
make Tony an offer.
I'm sure, yeah.
You know, I'm sure
Exactly.
he'd love to do that.
Exactly.
Good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Good, Mr. Bobcat, what's happening in your world?
Bobcat is there. Ricky, I'm so sorry about your back, but please don't blame it on the go-karts, man. You're just getting old, sir. That's your problem.
Thank you, thank you.
It was just that if I would have stayed straight and stayed slow, but no, I'm competitive.
No,
am.
I got one word for that. I got one thing for that.
There you go.
Sorry, I ain't cutting it, man.
Besides, even if you were going slow, the kids would have just gone right around you, Jason and Phil.
Did
They
you
would have
see-
just
Did
scooted
you
around.
see Jason's little throwback picture today?
No, I didn't.
His 8-year-old picture when he was
In a go-kart?
his little things. Yeah.
Ugh.
Wow.
No, I did not.
And the bill is still running, and he is still on triple secret probation. That's it.
Yes, well, that's all right. And he's getting ready. I saw that he's running some, getting ready for the 2015 season already, right?
He is moving up to the road to Indy, which he is in the 3rd class, which is the F1800 series. The next series up would be the Indy Lights. After that, Mr. Reichard could be moving in to the Indy Racing League. And if so, Mr. Bobcat will be saying bye-bye.
Yeah, but we'll all be following him with really, really.
Yeah, I think this
with
kid's
a
got-
real excitement.
I think this kid's got one heck of a shot at it. I mean, I really do. So, there you go.
Real committed.
Yes.
I wish I was committed to something at that age.
If you just get committed, that's your problem.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
But here's the thing, we can always say we knew him when,
This is true.
because he did help us win
Yes, sir.
at that. At
And
that
we
event.
have video to prove it.
And I have the video, that's right, we have the video to prove it, courtesy of JPEG.
I have a question.
And I have the ultrasound in the.
And the ultrasound. Exactly, and the x-rays and the pain to prove it.
I have a question.
Okay,
At the end of the show, are we going to do the rant tonight?
we can, why?
Because if so, Clark County School District.
Oh, we'll
get
talk
out.
about that.
Get
Yeah.
ready.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about
Get ready.
that.
I've got your name. I've got your number, and I'm coming after you.
The family that we met at the race car.
I saw
who
that.
lost their daughter.
Sure.
Okay, and I'm just gonna quickly paraphrase here because I posted the story on Vegas Unwrapped's page, or my personal page, I don't remember.
I think it was your personal
Yes.
CCSD is
Right.
being sued by the family. That they should be held responsible because according to the family, CCSD, the principal and
Have
everybody,
the information.
and they didn't relay it like they're supposed to. Well,
Right.
now CCSD is coming back in a, not a countersuit, but their position, it was the parents' fault, and it was the little girl's fault
Yep.
that she committed suicide.
And if that was the case, then we would have dead kids laying on, and this is quote, out of the Clark County School District. If this was the case, then, if this is the case on suicide, then we'd have dead kids laying all over the street. Look out, Clark County School System, the Lambert family, on pit road racing, we are behind you. I will not stop. They deserve what they deserve. They knew about it. They're trying to hover it up and cover it up. And I'm telling you, buddies, I'm fuming. Look out. You know what they used to say? Your butt is that, and who's got the mower? Bobcat's on the way.
Ooh,
I'm
They-
upset, boys.
They found in the file
right.
notification of what was going on, you know, of the bullying and everything. And according to what the story says, they never notified the parents.
Well, if they have a good lawyer,
Well,
look out, CCS.
here's the funny thing, when I posted the story, there was one person in the I don't know if you were part of that, but there was one person in the conversation that actually sided with CCSD. That
Yes.
there must be something wrong with the parents, they're missing something for this child at the age of 13 to have committed suicide over bullying. And I wasn't the only one, there were some other people in the conversation that just went after this person.
Well, I know exactly who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's in the
Comments.
feed, so,
And the sad thing about this is that the former principal,
right.
of this young lady never said anything out until a hearing started, and then all of a sudden came in and said that Mr. Lambert was abusing his daughter,
Yeah.
beating his daughter, and putting these false accusations. I'm just telling you,
And there was
look out.
and there was no evidence of that.
Look
There was
out.
no evidence of that.
Look out.
It could be
So-
a landmark case anyway.
Could be, certainly, and one that a lot of people will be following, that's for sure. All right, you have a sports desk ready there?
I can do it for you, sir.
Let's go to the Vegas Unwrapped Sports Desk with Bobcat.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Vegas Unwrapped. Yours truly, the Bobcat behind the control board. Let's start with a little bit of NFL for you. Two teams that are 2-12. The Tennessee Titans, the Jacksonville Jaguars. 10-7 as we head into the third period right now. And you know, a little bit of interesting news came out, gentlemen. Have you heard that Peyton Manning is interested in buying the Tennessee Titans? Is this fact? Is this fiction? Is it true? Could Peyton maybe be looking up to hanging up the helmet and becoming an owner and maybe buying 16 more Papa John's? Who knows? It's all on the way for you. Hey, a little bit of college basketball for you. Well, let's talk NBA here. New York 76, Chicago 82, Houston 58, New Orleans 62. That's what I got to look at in sports for you this hour. And you got some great guests. Bobcat from the sports desk, guys.
Excellent, thank you, Bobcat. By the way, update, Jacksonville 14, Tennessee 10, 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Real barn burner down there.
One
The
of those-
over-under was 39 in that game.
One of those real who cares.
It's one of those games that if the NFL could have, but you know, I heard today on the radio that per NFL statutes, every team must appear on Thursday Night Football. That's how you get stuck with the Tennessee-Jacksonville game. Must appear on Thursday night.
Or an Oakland's Jets game.
Or an Oakland's Jets game. Yeah, I don't know which one
Notice
it
I'm
was.
wearing my Eagles shirt.
Yeah,
It's called equal
Yes.
opportunity playing.
Yes, absolutely. All right, you're listening to Vegas Unwrapped here on VegasOnNetRadio.com. Aaron Phillips, Ricky Cash, JPEG on the camera, Bobcat on the board, and you, the listener, coming up on the other side. Business Connectors will be here in studio. Well, they're already in studio.
Hello.
They'll be behind the microphone talking about the organization and all the businesses involved and the benefits of networking. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we are.
I know.
Stand by, everybody. Here we go. Anytime you're ready, gentlemen.
All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. I'll never forget the day that Mr. Cash broke the news of a Ricky Cash fan club to me. My butt still hurts from when I fell on the floor last time. But I will say, with his input and President Ted's thoughtfulness to this, it has allowed us to do things that we could have been doing, but with a lot more struggle. And now with the membership and those jumping on board, it's made things a lot easier. So
It's given us a chance to give back some money to the community. I mean, everybody loves when we show up for events and things like that. But
because people love free,
yeah, but
That's why.
when you can write a check,
right?
that makes a big difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Without further ado, ADIEU, is that how it's spelled? Further ado,
Yes.
ADIEU,
No, not that.
the French version. We're going to introduce our listening audience to a networking organization called Business Connectors. And in our studio audience, we have, in our studio, we have the facilitator of our weekly meetings, Doug Forrester. How are you, Doug?
I'm doing really well, thanks.
And Doug's been on our show before. About a year ago, he did a business spotlight about his financial business, and the video is up on our YouTube channel. You can check that out. And also sitting...
9,317 views.
Absolutely, at least 317. But anyway, and then sitting also to Doug's right, no, I will say it was good because he did actually get some contacts after it. So, the Reverend Ernie Martin, the Reverend of Love, who's been on radio before. Actually, I think this is the first time you're on radio with us.
Yes, first
Except for
time.
when Denise has been in, we've kind of grabbed you to put
Yes,
you on.
that's right.
But this is all Ernie this time.
Just me today.
There you go.
But
So,
he's big time now, you know that.
I know.
You saw him, he's on with
Robert Seidel on
Seidel.
KXNT.
Whoa.
Weekly, are you on weekly with him on Sundays?
Weekly, most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time on Sundays,
On
right?
Sundays,
He imparts his spiritual blessings during Robert's show, because Robert's show is a very spiritual show. He's an attorney,
I know he is.
but he
know
does
he
his thing. But we're not here to talk about Robert. We're here to talk about Business Connectors. Tuesday mornings at 7 a.m. at the Bacon Bar on Gowan and Rancho. Used to be the old Kerry Sports Pub. I also was on the show Bar Rescue. John Taffer came out and converted it to the Bacon Bar. The best bacon in town, my God. You do so much bacon. Doug, how are you?
Doing really well.
Why don't you give a little backstory on the organization, because I know that Business Connectors has sort of evolved over the course of time, and most organizations do anyway. Why don't you give a little history about how the group got started and really the premise of what Business Connectors is all about?
Well, I did post tonight that Business Connectors is the original Business Connectors. Because there are several in the valley now that call themselves Business Connectors.
Okay.
Southwest Business Connectors and Henderson Business Connectors, I think. So there are several, but we were the original. A group of us started out at the North Las Vegas Chamber.
Okay.
And it was a pretty good group, pretty diverse, but wasn't growing, so they decided not to sponsor us anymore. So at that time we decided, let's be on our own. We picked Kerry Sports Pub, now the Bacon Bar,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been thriving ever since. One time we were really huge. You started a Wednesday group also, so now we're back to just on Tuesday.
Just on Tuesday?
But still a pretty good group, but they do support each other. I like the group, and we've been going for over 5 years.
Okay. Now, I mean, the basis of networking, for those who don't know, because, back east, where we come from, business networking, unless you were a member of Kiwanis or Rotary or something like that, that was networking in a lot of circles, or on the golf course. But business networking as we do it, and of course here with the 100-plus golf courses we have, it's still a good thing. But business networking in Vegas, I think, is a lifeblood to small business thriving and growing. Would you not agree, guys?
Absolutely. And there's been some posts recently from people talking about networking is not working here. And I beg to differ. I think it's really working well. It's got to be all about relationships.
Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
what we do. I mean, I've developed some really good relationships with you and Ricky through that show, or through that process. All the guys in that group right now, we really support each other. If we're out in the evening at an evening event, we'll look each other up to see who
Right.
can we introduce the other people to.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
it's a great networking venue.
Now, Ernie, you and I have known each other for a number of years, and we've crossed paths at different networking groups, but the one consistent one that you and I run into each other at is the Business Connectors.
That's right.
What is it about that group that works so well for you and your ministry?
Well, it's pretty good because it's close to my condo, and
Uh-huh.
plus I know the group, and I've been in the group for about, close to almost 3.5, a little over 3 years.
Okay.
and it's close by, and plus I know a lot of the group members.
Mhm.
They're very friendly, easy to talk to, interact with them, and easygoing.
Okay.
And Doug is a good leader that is very, very flexible
Mhm.
on attendance, as well as presentations come around. He's very, very, what you call, very open about it, give
Mhm.
more minutes for the presentations.
Right.
It's like,
Okay, very good. Now, guys, what is important to networking to you and your business? I mean, obviously we belong to these organizations for a reason, and you mentioned what goes behind it, relationships and stuff, but what is the basis of networking among business people? I mean, it's all about relationships, but let's face it, we're all there to do what? We're all there to make money.
Build our business, yeah,
Right.
make money.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it gives us the opportunity to really meet with each other on a regular basis, make sure we're building that relationship. So I'm able to say, you know, I'm looking this week for, and give an example.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're going about their week, they can think of me in that particular example I've given them. Like yourself, talking about the school district.
Mhm.
You know, I have some contacts in the school district. Well, this week I'm working a little bit more in the school district. If you had somebody, you know, there, I'd like to meet with them and so on. So we carry those things forward
Mhm.
each week, talking about what our needs are for the next week, 2 weeks, a month. So it's really unusual because you can't just walk into a business on the street and say,
Right.
you know, I'm looking for this, who can you introduce me to?
Exactly, Cash.
Yeah, two things that I found very, very interesting with network marketing here in town, and one of them I totally didn't expect. The first one I did is that, you know, with social media and being able to get somebody that you need to do something in a hurry, you've got a book and you open it up and there's 30, 40 business cards right there of people that, you know, are gonna help you do something that's gonna be important to you as soon as possible. That was the first big plus of network marketing. The second one, and I call it a byproduct, is that these business connectors, in many, many cases, become your close personal friends. And I don't think that's something that you normally would find if you're looking up somebody in the yellow pages, right, to come to your house to fix a pipe, and he fixes the pipe, and that's the last thing you hear from the person.
Sure.
But I find that a nice little social piece, which is very, very important here in Vegas, the so-called town that difficult to make friends, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's how you and I met,
Through networking.
originally through networking.
Through networking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look
Absolutely.
at us now.
I know.
Never mind.
What-
Cut that out.
Cut that out. We'll edit that out. What are some of the other business, I mean, we're gonna have, you know, obviously we have ministry, we have financial planning, we're gonna have Legal Shield, we have a PhD here, a professional hairdresser. But what are some of the other businesses that are members of the group?
Well, actually, some of the more successful businesses, Aqua Plumbing has been a really good member of our group.
Right. Artie White, he's been on our
Artie White,
show
Sure has.
during the margin tax stuff.
He does a lot of stuff in the valley, just in the community. There's a lot of free things for people, free inspections and stuff like that. So we can talk about him regularly in our neighborhoods about the value of having that business in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
We have M&I International, watch, clock, and jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
Outstanding business, yeah.
Mhm.
Tom Welsh. He really supports the rest of the group. Anything, he will drop things off at the meeting. He'll take them and bring them back to the next meeting, so you don't have to go out of your way to take your stuff to be repaired.
Mm-hmm.
Good value. Now they started a pen business, custom pens, anywhere from about $100 to $5,000 for each custom built pens. And they are really awesome pens.
Mhm.
I actually did a piece of business because
Oh,
the
the pen.
gentleman liked my pen and thought it was really classy that I was have something other than a Mont Blanc.
And they are great pens.
Yeah.
They really are.
Really are.
Now, we also have insurance.
Insurance,
Right.
Patrick Becker from Allstate.
Mm-hmm.
We have doTERRA Essential Oils. It's been
Right.
really a good process for me in helping me heal with the shoulder injury
Right.
that I had.
Right? Yeah, that's a remarkable story. Share that about the power of the oils.
Yeah, I had a surgery for a hospital mistake. Ended up having to have a bone graft.
And here we are,
Yeah,
giving
take
us
it
all
away.
these props earlier for the hospitals and healthcare.
Yeah, it's terrible. But anyway, it's been a couple years ago, and I still had struggle with mobility in that arm.
Right?
And I had a young lady come to our house, explain to us the benefits of some of the oils, and she did a treatment on my shoulder, kind of in the whole area. And in 5 minutes, I was able to unusually stand against the wall, raise my hand up and touch the wall over my head.
Because it gave you
And
that flexibility
It gave
back.
you that flexibility.
Wow.
Just having that oil in my system.
Right,
Loosening up that joint,
right.
no pain. It was just unbelievable.
So that does work.
I wonder if that
great
would work
stuff.
on the sciatic.
I was just gonna say, put it on your back, man.
Try-
Give it a try. It's worth a
Try
shot.
Wesson, try Wesson oil first for you.
Yeah, the next thing will be frying eggs.
Right, exactly.
And there were a lot of other things too, some things about relaxing and
Sure.
and lung issues.
Right.
I have a cough that I have repeatedly over the
Okay.
years. Let's help that a little bit. So it's a really good business. I think who else in there? We have real estate. We have a mortgage, the Vegas Mortgage Man,
Mhm.
part of our group.
Of course, one of our favorites, Downtown Dale Brown,
Yep.
Las Vegas Wheel and
And that
Brake.
really, he is, I refer to nobody else in the valley but Dale Brown
Right.
for auto work.
Right.
He does painting. I haven't used that for auto because I
Let's
don't.
hope you don't have to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
but I've seen his work. Our computer repair guy will be back joining us again,
Okay.
Gary Baldazar,
Okay.
GP Computing. And
We
Gary
know
had an
her
ac-
daughter very well,
yeah,
Christine.
Gary had an accident and took his vehicle to Dale, and he said he was just amazed that he got it back and couldn't tell. That it was just a big damaged area to the door, couldn't even tell it had been done.
Wow.
That's amazing. I've gone to Dale not a half a dozen times over
Mhm.
the past 3 years. I've not gotten to him at all.
Right.
He's been amazing.
And he took care of my car before I left with the sound doctor to St. Louis.
Sure.
Ernie, talk about what you're doing with your ministry, but it's more than just the ministry. You know, you officiate services, as you mentioned, life events. Talk about that and what you look for in your business and how networking helps you and your ministry.
Well, basically, what I do is officiate ceremonies like weddings or vow renewals or commitment ceremonies. Now, there's marriage equality in the state of Nevada, so I have the opportunity even to officiate same-sex wedding ceremonies. So that's in the works now. That's the reality.
Right. Absolutely.
I also officiate services like celebration of life. People make a transition to a different life. I mean, eternal life.
Mhm.
So I officiate those. They're very good because you need a lot of a different type of psychology involved, a lot of compassion and kindness involved there, and a lot of empathy, a lot of patience is involved, a lot of empathy and understanding is very important in the celebration of life ceremonies, sometimes called memorial services,
Mhm.
and also funeral services. That's part of the ministry, but the other part is senior ministry, go to the assisted living places and have prayers and singing, as well as testimonials in assisted living places as a volunteer. Those are very good. I also have webinars on the phone, monthly discussions on spiritual topics. So that's the overall picture of my ministry. It's not just ceremonies, it's other aspects of life, other aspects of living that live in our communities.
Right, right. So let me ask you a question. We're gonna go to the break right after this question so we can change out a little bit. How can people get more information? What's the website, Facebook page, if they want to learn more about the group?
For business connectors,
Mhm.
just businessconnectors.com
And membership information is on there.
on there. Yeah.
Contact information for all the businesses. So if you're coming to Vegas, as an example, and you're gonna plan a wedding, Ernie does weddings, and we've got photography, Dave, that I know Ernie's worked with. If you need some financial planning, you've got all the contact information on there for Doug, and it really is well worth checking out the website.
One last question before break, Doug. What other services would you like to see join the group, be part of the group that you think are essential to the community's needs?
Well, we had an electrician for a while. We still refer to him, but they've been really busy, so I guess because the group helped them a lot, maybe. So we could use an electrician coming regularly, because that's when we really need to have that support in the group. Businesses show up and want to get business, but then they don't come back. It's hard to refer to them. So an electrician, we had an attorney that was attending for a while, so an attorney would be really good for the group. merchant services, air conditioning, our air conditioning man, once again, got so much business from the group, they get too busy to
Mhm.
cut back. That's about it for now, I think.
Okay,
Great.
we're always looking,
Yeah.
always looking. So check,
Doctors, dentists.
And Ernie doesn't talk really enough about his being interfaith. There's a lot of,
Right.
different faiths out there.
right, non-denominational.
He'll work with anybody. He just really does a good job. I've met some of the people and actually watched some of the ceremonies.
Right.
attended the ceremonies, a great ceremony.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna go to our bottom of the hour break. When we come back, more with Business Connectors. We'll introduce you to a couple of other members. All of a sudden, I heard you talking, but your mouth wasn't moving.
I can do that.
Obviously. Vegas Unwrapped, we'll be back with more right after this. Oh my goodness, if you want to do what Mike just did, go to gofundme.com/Ricky Fan Club. That's the easiest way to do it. Or go to vegasunwrapped.net and click on the Ricky Cash Fan Club tab. Remember folks, your donations not only get you things back like t-shirts, pictures, show tickets, etc., but more importantly, they help us help the community with financial donations. So please check out the Ricky Cash Fan Club. All right, welcome back. We are interviewing and meeting with some members of the Business Connectors weekly networking group. By the way, the website is businessconnectorslv.com is the correct website. businessconnectorslv.com, and our schedule. The schedules are up there. Member services, businesses, anything and everything that you'd ever want to know about our group is there. And come on and check it out. Joining us now at the microphone is Mr. Rick Knowles and Miss Julie Winkler. How are you guys?
Hello.
That's great.
Good, good. Rick, you're involved with Legal Shield, and Julie is a PhD, professional hairdresser, providing a very unique service that no one else in Vegas does, right?
That's right.
We'll get to that in a second. Rick, talk about Legal Shield. Talk about the power of networking for you and what it's done for your business.
Legal Shield is a great way to get quality attorneys for those decisions that we have to make in life and get the documents done that we need to do. And what networking has meant to me is that it gives me an entree into people to get first to meet them, and especially I love the relationships that we establish with people, because it means that I have confidence in the quality of person that I'm either being recommended to, or that I can also recommend to my clients, and that makes me more valuable to my clients.
Okay, so you're able to help both sides of the coin, not just get referred business to you, but when somebody has a need for something else because of the connections with all these other businesses, you can refer them to somebody else.
Absolutely.
All right, man, you're right. It does make it more valuable because it's a two-way street. Julie, talk about your business and what makes you unique to what you do here in Vegas.
Well, what's unique about my business is I provide a service called computer digital imaging. And as a hairdresser, that's very valuable because I get to see people in styles before I perform them. And I've been performing this service since the late 90s. And computers being what they are and the way things morph the way they do, I'm about the only one that does it in the Las Vegas Valley anymore. Most people are very do-it-yourself with things, but I still use it constantly in my business, and I refer, it helps my present clientele and sometimes draws new clientele to me. And I've been going to these two networking groups, this one in particular, for the past 5 years, and it has brought me an audience that I couldn't necessarily get without a lot of advertising. When I owned a salon, I would put it in the yellow pages, and did get a lot of good response from that. But when I got out of the salon and now I'm a independent contractor, it was nice to find an audience in a different way, in a more personal one-on-one audience.
Networking is pretty cost effective overall, isn't it?
Much more. I mean, yellow pages are almost cost prohibitive now, the way I understand it.
Do they still have yellow pages nowadays?
They still do. I get it thrown
It's
on
an
my
online thing,
doorstep.
actually.
But very expensive for a single person. Maybe as part of my budget as a big salon, it was okay, but
Right.
for me to do by myself, so to go out and meet people face to face, as I do in the networking groups, and to show people personally what I do, is just much more effective for my business.
I imagine, knowing some women the way I do, that if they want their hair done in a specific way and it doesn't come out the way they want it, they get ballistic. Whereas in this case, you can actually show them what it is that it's going to look like ahead of time. What an advantage to that. I mean, with all due respect, it's the first time I've heard this. I think it's great. I know somebody who I would recommend that to in a heartbeat.
Hope she's not listening.
I hope she is.
Well, depends on how she takes what you're saying.
Only because I want her to be happy with the results that
Ah,
she's got now.
I see.
How's that for a
Kick saving a beauty.
Thank you.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Nice recovery.
I may be sick, but I can still play the game.
You can still dance. Gotcha. Rick, talk to me about why business connectors, because there's so many groups out there, networking groups. And I have to admit, I belong to 2 or 3 different groups because they're in different pockets of town for me. But why, with the groups, and I don't know if you go to any other groups, but why business connectors? What is so important for that particular group that you became a member of?
There are a couple of reasons, and I, like you, belong to other groups and attend other groups. It's relatively close to where I live, so that it makes it great because I'm there and it's easy to attend, but the quality of the people and the relationships that we have with one another is possibly the biggest attraction that I have to business connectors. It, as I say, they say that people will buy from people who you know and trust. And it's a pleasure to do business with this group of people because over the period of time, we really have become friends. We've gotten to know each other either because we've done one-on-ones with each other and taken the time to get to know each other outside of the meetings. And
Right.
also, during the meetings, because we meet week after week after week, we really do get to know each other.
Okay. Julie, how about you? Because I know you're active in other groups and organizations.
I am active around town. I tend to stay though whereas other people might go out, I stay northwest, so I use the groups that are closest to me. I don't know, I just really, I'm such a fan of networking like this, and I do encourage other people to do it all the time, and I constantly try to invite people to groups. It's a kind of a growing thing, and you know, groups come and go, but this one's held on, and I think, you know, it's a very valuable commodity for everybody that attends it. You know,
Network marketing, I think, for the small to medium-sized businesses gives us, because we're a part of that as well, a real competitive edge to increase our business at very little dollars in comparison to other methods of marketing, and gives the small to medium-sized business that edge, Cash.
The other thing that is that, you know, and I found this in dealing with many of the network marketing people, they actually will discount for their services to members of the group. And that's even more special because it makes you feel like, you know, hey, you're important, your business is important, and I want to show you my appreciation and thanks by giving you my cost at a discounted price.
But we have to be careful in the networking arena, and I think you guys will back me up on this. It's one thing to get business from our fellow networkers within the groups, but there's a thing called a third-party referral, where really the long-term substantiation of the member base and that business staying in that group is getting referrals from outside. In other words, if I have a friend who's not a member of the group that needs a good salon person,
That's the person you want
that's
to
the
get
person
to.
what you want to get to.
No
They're-
question about
That's
it.
the person that is lifelong sustaining.
Yeah.
And I also, for me, I have everybody's cards all the time in the salon, and the women will start, you know, and all of a sudden somebody needs something about their mortgage, and
Right.
there you go, you know,
Right.
I mean, I'm telling people, you know, here, I've got a plumber, I've got a mortgage man, I've got an insurance guy, you know, I mean, there's just numerous occasions when I'm able to refer.
Right. And that's important. I mean, I've gone out soliciting on other business, and I remember one nail salon I was in when I was selling alarms, and they had a water pipe break. So who did I call? I called Aqua Plumbing. It was the first guy that came to mind to say, hey, Artie, you got to get down here and help these guys. So So that third-party referral is really the additional key and the success to any networking group. It's one thing to get business from your fellow members, but the long-sustaining life of a member within a networking group is really getting those third and fourth party referrals, and that's really important. So,
No question about that.
Doug, I want to call you back up to the microphone for a second, because as the facilitator of Business Connectors, and we're just about wrapping up time in this segment, what final thoughts do you have about networking that you want to share with our audience, about Business Connectors, about coming on down? Just give us some final thoughts.
Well, I tell everybody, just come down one time, have breakfast with us, see what the group is all about. A couple people I even offered to buy them breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So get them down there, let them see what the group is, let them meet the members and see how special the group really is. And also about the fan club, I sent you a little message earlier, but can I give cash to the fan club?
Absolutely.
So I can become a member tonight. right?
Absolutely, you certainly could.
I'll do that.
All right,
Gotta love it.
absolutely.
Gotta love it.
Absolutely, we appreciate that. Absolutely, no question. Cash will talk to you about what the levels are if you don't know.
I already know.
Oh, okay. Well, and we thank you for that. All right, so it's Tuesday morning, 7 a.m., 6:45. Really get there a little bit early. You network with everybody. 7 o'clock, the meeting starts, and we're out of there in an hour. I mean, you want to go to a meeting and not lose half a day. This is the place to go, because by 8 o'clock you're out of there, and you can get to work by 9 or 8:30 and still have your full day. So come on down to the Bacon Bar and join us.
And it's good food.
Oh, and it is great food, and in terms of the value, the cost for breakfast.
I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna love this.
Go ahead.
Since you're having your procedure on Tuesday.
There's no meeting this week.
See?
You were gonna go for me,
Go
weren't
for
you?
you.
Yeah,
That's
there's
what
no
brought
meeting
me
this
He
week.
knew that. He already knew that.
Well, here I was, I thought I was gonna make a big fan here.
No, I just saved you money because there's no meeting this week.
But the breakfast sounded so good.
You can still go for breakfast. I mean, but it is great value, and our server Sandy, she does a great job with us as well. So that's
But you will
part
be
of it.
meeting the following week, guys?
The
Or you
No.
wait till after the
No, we're not
first?
meeting till the
Sixth.
6th of January.
Sixth.
Sounds good.
Everybody's taking the 2 weeks off. So, guys, thank you for coming in. Rick, Julie, Doug, Ernie, thank you all for coming in. Artie missed out. I don't know where he was. Artie White was supposed to be here tonight as well. So we'll
Well,
have
let's give him a plug. What does Artie do?
Aqua Plumbing.
That Artie.
That Artie, yes.
Well, he knows this place.
Yeah, he
He's
knows us.
Fixing somebody's drain.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
What's his motto? If it doesn't, we keep you.
No, if it's brown, it's going down.
Right, that's right. There you go.
Oh,
So,
God.
on that note, we will take our break. When we come back, it's John Styles. We're doing it with Styles to take us to the top of the hour. Vegas Unwrapped. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And we're clear. We're close. So take the top of the hour right after. We'll take the top of the hour right after doing it with Styles. Here we go.
Hi, welcome back. I'm busy looking at all my Facebook messages after the Business Connectors. That was a good segment to introduce those guys.
Excellent.
You know, good stuff with them.
Excellent guy. Oh, good guy. I mean, I know most of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good guys.
Speaking of good guys, now out in front, let's play our opening, if you would, there, Mr. Bobcat.
I certainly will.
All right, thank you. All right. Now in front of the camera with his weekly version of Doing It With Style Awards, Mr. John JPEG Styles.
Hello
Take it away.
there.
Oh, hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
You're gonna love this one.
All right.
You're gonna love this.
I love every one you've done so
one.
far.
And I did not find this one, and after I present it, I'll tell you where it came from.
Okay.
But this is really pretty awesome. The headline is "Woman Stops Grisly Attack with a .25 caliber pistol."
Oh, jeez.
This is a story of self-control and marksmanship. A woman survived a grizzly bear attack with one well-placed shot from her itsy-bitsy .25 caliber Beretta Jetfire. How could you not give the Doing It With Styles award?
Absolutely.
Beretta's about yay big.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was taller.
These are her own words.
Sorry.
No, he wasn't. He was only like
That's
that.
right.
little guy, too.
It's true.
He had a bird, though. that was
That's right. He
bigger
had a
than
bird.
was,
That's
yeah.
right.
So these are her own words.
Except when he shot that. Never mind.
Okay. While out hiking in Alberta, Canada with my boyfriend, we were surprised when a huge grizzly bear came charging at us out of nowhere. She must have been protecting her cubs because she was extremely aggressive. If I had not had my little Beretta Jetfire, I would not be here today. I yanked it out of my purse and fired one shot. It hit my boyfriend in his kneecap and the bear caught him easily. While the grizzly mauled the poor crippled, I was able to escape by just walking away at a brisk pace. I love that pistol. I'll find other boyfriends. Now,
Here I'm thinking he shot him right in the eye.
That's right out of the-
Shot him up his nose.
That's right out of the Mike Leonetti book there.
this
Swerve.
was sent to me by my ex-girlfriend with a note attached that says, "Would you like to go for a hike?"
That's fun.
So that's my doing it with style.
Does she have a name?
No, the article did not give her name.
I'm not surprised.
That's totally unbearable. Come on now. Come on.
Oh.
Come on.
Hey, and
Tell me neither of you would think of it. Come on. See, you were. I know. See, I
You
know.
got me.
I know.
I'm drugged.
I'm just, great. Great. Let the public know. Way to go.
that's why you don't arm bears.
No, I got it. Speaking of bears, okay, if Robin is listening, she will kill, which I know she's not, because she's still out of school. If she knows I'm sharing this story with you guys,
Uh-oh.
she will send me to the doghouse.
Uh-oh.
When we were still in Jersey, she was working at a day camp as an art director. And
Where was
you
it?
can leave the music up.
Where was it?
It was at our synagogue. It was the YAC day camp.
Okay.
Wait, you guys are Jewish?
What,
Yeah, just a little.
what town was that?
Linden.
Okay.
Yeah. So she got, as the art director, she got the opportunity to go on the overnight trip with the upper camp, right? All right. So P.S., she's in the cabin with a bunch of the girls, and all of a sudden they hear this hooting and hollering going on outside, right? And all of a sudden, all the girls from the cabin got up and ran out, and Robin's just pussyfooting around in the cabin, not knowing what's going on, and everybody outside's yelling.
Bear.
There was a wild bear,
Right.
okay? I mean, this is beyond nuts. So, scared out of her mind, my wife, as she's running out of the cabin, grabs something for protection as she's running out, God forbid, right? I could give you guys, I'll give you guys a million guesses. You will never come up with what she grabbed to fend off the bear.
Curling iron.
Nope.
I'm not even gonna try.
Bobcat. Come on. Give us one. Curling iron. It's a good guess.
It was a good guess, but wasn't the right answer. Let me just say that in comparison to the curling iron, it was about the same shape and a lot smaller.
No.
No.
Would this happen to be a female product?
A female product,
No.
yes.
A female
With the
kinda
fuse, with the fuse at the end.
Does it buzz?
Uh-huh, right, there it is.
Does it light up?
It had a fuse at the end.
Yeah.
It's a cherry bomb.
A tampon.
Okay.
Yes, a female, see, the thing here was a female
See,
product.
I was gonna say a bomb.
I thought it was a D-I, well, I can't spell when I'm just messed
So
up.
she
Battery operated
Battery
boyfriend.
operated, yeah. D-I-L-D.
she went running.
Speaking of which,
Do we have a
Yes.
conclusion to that story?
I talked to Angelo the other day,
Yes.
and he said, "Keep up the good work, guys."
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Angela.
Yeah.
Angela.
Listen, A.A. Casaro.
Oh, okay, great.
You know, the
Oh,
sponsor,
sorry, sorry,
the
sorry.
sponsor of the
Yeah, yeah.
segment.
I got it.
Hey, did anybody hear my shout out with Sandy the other day?
Which one?
Oh, the commercial? Well, I heard
Yeah.
the raw file
Oh,
that
okay.
you sent to me, but I didn't hear it
Yeah,
on the show.
No, what was that
Okay.
all about?
That was pretty cool. We did a shout out after the show last Friday,
Oh, okay.
just her and I, and I'll make sure that you hear it. It was
Okay.
pretty good.
We're gonna get him tomorrow, buddy. I'm on the way to Chef Michael tomorrow.
You're on with them?
Yeah, I'm on tomorrow. with
Oh,
him.
I saw
Oh,
that.
cool.
The crew from On Pit Road
Yeah,
Races.
Oh,
they
the
got the
ladies.
ladies on there. They got the ladies on there.
I
All
saw
right,
that.
then you've got to ask him. You got to ask Ryan to play that. Tell him to play Sandy and John's shout out
Plays Annie Johnson.
or drop. What do they
Yeah.
call him? A drop?
Yeah, drops, shout outs, we got it.
Yeah,
we
okay.
can do that.
All
You know, old Chef Michael's all wound up.
Yeah.
He's got 3 hot-looking women coming in there tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
So I
He's
told-
not going to know what to do with himself.
Well, that's it, you know, and I sent a message over to Sandy, said, don't worry, darling, I'll be down on your side of the cook tomorrow.
All right, before we go to the top of the hour break, I know we're probably going to not do birthdays because
Right.
Stella's gonna be calling, but there is a very special birthday that we have to acknowledge tonight. And it comes all the way, or should I say, it goes all the way to Louisiana. Our dear friend Brandy Lane is out there. Her daughter, Abby Thomas, her eldest daughter, turns 11 years old today.
Wow.
So from all of us at Vegas Unwrapped there, Miss Abby, we want to wish you a happy birthday.
One more thing.
So happy birthday to you, Abby, from
Happy
Phillips and
birthday.
Cash and the crew here at Vegas Unwrapped.
Yeah, while we're at it, Brandy is expecting some news tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And we want to wish her the best of
Absolutely.
best of luck on that.
She sent me a message as she was downloading the show. She's just so wound up worrying about the results tomorrow, but
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be
everything's going to be
fine.
fine because
Absolutely.
nice things happen to nice people.
Hey, check us out on Facebook, Vegas Unwrapped Internet Radio. We're up to 1,634 fans. We made a nice jump over last day.
Way to go.
I asked to get up and over 16:30 before tonight's show, and I want to thank Nicole Sharp, co-host of Spotlight on Vegas Business. She helped get us there.
She changed her hair.
Yes, she did.
What did she do to it?
She made it a little darker.
A little different, neon red.
Yeah, neon, she said.
That's one wild, wacky lady right there.
I think
She's a
the best.
hoot.
She's the best. I
And-
really get a kick out of it.
And I told her it doesn't help my kryptonite issue. All right, top of the hour.
Still has those highlights.
Absolutely. Top of the hour coming up. Hour number 2. Stella from Down Under should be calling us. We're going to get some predictions of 2015 from her Australian style. And then Dave Padgett, DNR House of Diamonds, a gem of a man, will be here joining us in studio.
Gem of a man.
You like that one?
I
A
like
cut above.
A cut
A
above.
diamond in the rough.
Can I get Stella to send me a penguin?
Yeah, let's
I
talk
think
to her
you
about
can.
it.
I want a penguin.
All right, let's talk to her about it.
See ya.
I don't know how
A live penguin?
Bob Quinn?
What are you gonna do with a live penguin?
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Hopefully poke enough holes in the top of the box.
You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped. The first hour is done. Around the horn we go. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. It's just straight downhill. Stella from Down Under will be joining us. Styles in the room. Phillips Cash, yours truly, the Bobcat. Second hour on the way. Up next, everybody.
Welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, Ricky Cash, JPEG on the camera, Bobcat on the board, you the listener. It is about 4 minutes after 8 p.m. here at the Pacific Standard Time. Man, the music cut off abruptly.
I don't know what happened.
Do we run out of quarters in the slot machine?
I think when we jumped ahead there, you know, I'm going to go re-edit a piece of this next week. Because
Okay.
I think there's something at the end of this that
All right, whatever you feel is
whatever you want.
necessary.
You guys will be on vacation next week.
That's true. Well, we'll be out. You have 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, well, although we got to figure out what to do for the first. Because I was mentioning to Cash before we went on the air that if I could play with the audio files and kind of cut stuff up and do a best of, that's what I'd like to do for the first. But I don't know if I have the time to do that or the ability to
We
do
definitely need to run next week. We need to run
the Jimmy Bryan
the
episode.
Jimmy Bryant,
Send me an email.
Mike Leonetti.
Send me an email.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what it is.
Yeah, because we'll be off next week. We'll be off the 1st, which means we return on January 8th to 2015. Can you believe it?
I'll be free and clear of all my 2013 and 14 bills.
I was gonna... Nice recovery. Nice recovery.
Well, you know, this is the last year of the ESOP for me.
I know.
And you're going to start it
I'm
this
starting
year,
at the end of next
And
year.
I hate you because you're making so much more than I did.
Well, it's because I stuck it out longer than you.
Well, yeah. Well,
I still hate you for getting me in that business.
well, how about a percentage then?
How about you can kiss my patootie?
Patootie.
Patootie.
You're going to get that glam removed?
Well, Brandy's daughter's listening,
I
so
get
down
it.
in Louisiana.
I
so.
gotcha.
All right, we're still waiting for Stella from Down Under to give us a call and give us some 2015 predictions, Australian style.
I wonder if that means if they're going to be backwards. Or,
Maybe they would have already happened. Because you know it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon Friday there now.
I know, it's already.
3.
Wednesday.
3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Well,
I thought it was 6 hours difference a day ahead.
Well,
No.
it's my day off. I get to leave. Bye.
But we're not in Australia.
Oh, okay.
19 hours.
Oh, jeez.
we're just getting an update
We're
from Dave.
Yes. Eight children found dead at a house in Australia, in Cairns. Cairns, am I saying that right? Dave
No
Padgett
way.
from DNR House of
By the way,
Diamonds is here in studio with us. You can bring up Dave's
I
microphone.
got Dave up. He's ready.
Dave is up, okay.
They're having a hell of a time in Australia.
Yeah, they had that siege over the weekend.
Right, and they didn't know whether or not it was something about, we should ask Stella if she calls.
No, don't.
We shouldn't ask Stella. if
No.
she calls.
They have been asked, the radio personalities and stuff
Not to
have,
talk
have been
about it?
asked not to talk about it, not to glorify it.
Oh, wow.
not to,
Even though
so.
it's been all over international news.
Right, but they have been trying not to give this guy any more press.
Well, that's
So-
true. I can understand that.
And,
I
you know,
guess.
Australia in of itself has distanced itself because of distance, of course, from many of the, worldwide
Well,
things. However,
I-
they've always been supportive of just about every action that America and the United Nations
Right.
has asked them to
Right,
participate in.
right.
Did you see the thing that I posted on my Facebook page a few days ago?
About,
Where the Australians, after the attack, some of the Muslims in that country were kind of paranoid about getting killed or beat up after
Right.
that incident.
right.
And so the Australians were out there volunteering to accompany Muslims, whether they were going to work or any place like that, just so that they would be
As
safe.
protection.
As protection, yeah.
I'll tell you,
It's
the
a
way
whole-
they ended that siege, too, we should all, we should all take a notice to how
Yep.
they did that, to be honest with you. Is that our girl?
Sure is.
Stella's down under.
All right.
Stella!
Let's welcome Stella the right way, please, gentlemen, shall we? Stella! From Down Under's on the line with us. How are you, darling?
Good day.
Good,
Good
sweetie.
day,
How
good
are you
day.
doing? All right, we were just debating the time. What time is it there on Friday for you right now? Oh, great.
So
Three.
3 o'clock.
So we'll take the average and say it's about
Right.
3:06 and a half. All right, because we were just about. I thought it was 6 hours difference in time the day later than where we are. So I was off. Somebody told me 6 hours is actually 5 hours.
Stella, Stella, this is Ricky. We have a major problem here. Once your penguins showed up last week, there has been a demand for penguins, the likes of which I've never seen.
What's that? Oh,
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
they did.
And
No. No, we didn't bring any of them with us.
No, but we did bring the penguins.
But we did bring the penguins. Matter of fact, I'm having my. Oh, they're
the
gangers.
penguins are gangers.
Great,
Yeah.
great. By the way, I'm thinking about bringing mine with me to the hospital on Tuesday. Just as a little pacifier.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing the town on the
I hope
holidays.
so. I hope so too. Listen, we understand you're going to give us some 2015 projections, Australian style. Is that right? Unboxing. Nice.
Special.
Stella, what are you doing on Boxing
Yeah,
Day?
how are you so sure on that prediction? Is there anybody we know that's going to be running that?
Does Craig know about this?
John wants to know if Craig knows about this. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he does? Uh-oh.
It was probably his idea.
Oh, he used to film the cricket matches. Oh, really?
Cool.
Nice. Hey, when you get...
Oh, that's too bad.
Hey, oh, great.
What's her name?
Tremendous.
That's great. With the app or online, she can listen, but now you... Great. Now you got to get her to join the Ricky Cash fan club. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Oh, great. That's great. Absolutely. Well, that's good. That's good. So, and Queensland, that's good. See, we're sprouting in Australia.
I know that.
We're going to become like Tony Martini. We're going to become so popular in Australia, they're going to demand us to come.
We have
Imagine that?
we have doubled our listeners.
We have doubled our listenership in Australia.
Oh, at that rate, we'll have 12 by next time.
What's her name?
Hey, Keg Rhymes.
Okay.
All right, we'll all right, listen, I want you, when you get a chance, I need you to look up a name on Google because we had an author on our show a handful of weeks back. Her name is Carolyn Milne.
Milne.
M-I-L-N-E, Carolyn Milne. She wrote a book about, she's a spiritual individual that she channels angels and stuff and all that. I forgot what the title of the book is, but she's actually from Australia. I think she's from, I want to say Melbourne, or is she from Sydney? Do you remember, Cash? I think she's from Melbourne.
I thought she was from Melbourne.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
think so. From look her up online, because we may be doing an 8-week show with her here through our network while she's that's why I'm trying to figure out the timing on Australia to Pacific Standard Time. Gotcha, okay. Because I have to,
So how about,
It's,
gotcha.
you guys are 19 hours ahead of us. So it's 1 day and 7 hours.
Or 6 in her case, or 5 in her case though.
How do you figure 5?
Well, because it's 3 o'clock there now and it's 8 o'clock, so the difference is 5 hours plus a day.
From 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock is 6 hours. From 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
so how about those predictions? that
Yeah.
stuff?
Besides the streaker at the, go for it.
And,
Oh, yeah, pissed?
Yeah, yeah. That always happens every
Yeah.
year, doesn't it? Is that? No.
And that's why I always celebrate New Year's with Australia.
Right.
Because I can't stay up that late here.
Right,
so
exactly.
I can get drunk in the afternoon and then
And it's
crash
all
in,
over. Yes.
yeah.
No, what's that? No, I have not.
Their beer.
2.5 liters? Yikes.
Yeah.
That's
some
a
good
lot.
drink. That's some good drinking.
That's
right
some
there.
good
Yeah.
drinking right there. Bubba J would love that.
Bobcat like yeah.
It's-
Speaking of the Bobcat,
yes.
Miss Stella, are you there? Miss Stella, do you have a board operator that does your show?
No.
Okay, so you sent penguins to Phillips, you sent penguins to Cash, you sent penguins to JPEG, the video guy. But the guy that sits here and makes them all sound good, you didn't send no penguins. Oh, I'm getting a koala bear.
He's getting-
Koala bear.
Shut up then. All
That's-
right. Have a nice day, Stella.
All right. So we got Bobcat covered with a. Would that be a koala cat? Or Babala? Babala?
How am I gonna sneak this thing in?
Bear cat.
Yeah. How am I gonna sneak this thing in the house? Miss Bobcat will grab a hold of this.
Not
thing.
if she's already listening. She knows it's coming, so
She
you're
knows it's
screwed to
coming
begin
now, I know.
with. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, Stella, we got to run. We got to take our break. We have another guest coming up. Thank you, darling. Thank you very much. Hopefully Tuesday they'll be gone, I hope. You got it, darling.
Our next show is January 8th.
Thank you, darling. Good day, mate.
Bye.
see you, sweetie.
Bye-bye.
Woo. You got to fasten your seatbelt when Stella comes on with us. Right?
Because first of all, you gotta
Slow
every
down and
third-
try to.
understand every third word.
That's right. That's the secret. Is just kind of catch every other
She
word.
might actually be able to hang with the crew of On Pit Road Racing.
I'm telling
She
you.
can go
Jeez
now.
Louise,
I'm
that's
telling
great. Good stuff. Stella from Australia. We love it. And
She's
yeah,
a
we follow
sweetheart.
our listenership in Australia. Isn't
She's
that
a
great?
sweetheart.
Actually, no, we've tripled it if we had Carolyn into the mix.
Oh, that's
So we
right.
got 3 listeners.
Yeah,
you.
300%.
Good stuff.
Our
Good stuff.
listenership is
300%.
You can even order jewelry to Australia too. You use DNR House of Diamonds website. We'll be back to talk to Dave Paget, co-owner of DNR House of Diamonds.
Shameless.
No shame about it. Full
Are we
intentional.
gonna rock out with Dave?
I don't know, but as I said before, he's a gem of a guy, so it'll be real easy to, diamond in the rough.
You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped right here.
A cut above, a cut below.
Somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Dave's back, man. He brought a big chocolate diamond with him tonight. I'm gonna get him for it too.
There you go.
We're back with Dave, Vegas Unwrapped, Phillips Cash, JPEG, Bob Kent. We're back after 2 minutes, everybody.
Back to Vegas Unwrapped. Aaron Phillips, Ricky Cash, JPEG, Bobcat, and Dave Paget joins us at the microphone. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing awesome. You guys are just having way too much fun.
I'm
here.
telling you.
That's why we have you on in the second hour.
That's right.
Stella from Australia.
I'm telling you, that's good stuff.
We're moving up it, or are we
And it's a
moving down?
legitimate call from Australia, by
Of
the way.
course.
Are we moving up or are we moving down in
I
class?
was with Ricky just trying to understand every third word.
Yeah, really? I don't know what she's saying.
And with the delays, and really it's not much of a delay on the phone, but we tend to step on each other because we want to respond. She's not done talking, she's great.
She
She's
sounds like a sweetheart
and,
of a lady.
and I'll tell you what, she does her own radio show in
Yeah, she
Australia,
does.
and she's a TV actress, and
Oh, cool.
she's really adopted us.
We owe this to the Bob.
Yeah,
to the
JPEG.
JPEG, I mean.
She was a guest on another show that JPEG worked, and we managed to swindle her to come over to our show as a guest, and it's worked out. So and she's just adopted us and supported us out there, and we're very blessed for that.
Cool.
So
We're gonna get her own show.
yeah, exactly,
There you go.
exactly.
Nobody will understand a word.
Deanna, well, listen.
I
If I can
understand.
get Mark Weinberger to slow down and have him be heard on the radio,
Oh,
then we could do this with Stella.
Let me tell you.
we could do the two of them on the same show.
Jeez.
No, you've done a great job.
Yeah,
This walk sounds great.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So if we can get him to be heard pretty well, then Stella should
Except
be.
when he gets excited.
Yes, well, that's true. All right,
And
DNR
that-
House of Diamonds is in the house, getting ready for the holidays. And
Ready. We're in the midst.
I know you are.
We are in the midst of it.
Website is dnrdiamonds.com for all your diamond information you could want, schedule making and everything else.
Yep.
And of course, you just pointed me to a new feature on your website. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, we have two websites right now. As you know, nobody likes to type. Okay?
Right.
So
Right?
we created a short URL. Basically, it's shop, the letter D for me, Dave, and an R for Rich, my business partner, .com. So shop DNR Diamond, shop DNR.com will take you straight to our online shopping site. What's really cool about it is it's an entire inventory online, like you could pretty much find anywhere else on the net. The benefit of our site, which I think is pretty cool, is you click on it, and you have a shopping cart, just like you have any other shopping cart online. The difference is you don't need a credit card, because what it does is it sends what you've picked directly to us, either myself or to Rich, and we can kind of give you a call back and even work through the prices even a little better than what you'll find online, and work out arrangements to get it to you, whether that's shipping or whether that's delivering it here if you're local, or if you want to stop by the office and pick it up. But the values are from $50 on up, so we can cover anybody's price point, and some really nice stuff, all trendy, all current, all nice and updated. So lots of good stuff to pick from, and the selections are incredible. A lot of the styles are featured in a particular color. Some are yellow, some are white. But as you click on the item, it'll give you the choice. Do you want it in yellow? Do you want it in white? Do you want to change the diamonds? A lot of flexibility in the site, and it updates the prices accordingly as you make your selections. And it's pretty cool, pretty slick. So I invite everybody to check it out. It's just another way for us to serve our clients. They don't have to necessarily leave the comfort of their home or their couch, and we can still give them that personalized service that you just can't get with typically any other website, because you're talking to basically a computer, not a human being.
Right.
And we're available.
I think I just bought a $1,500 ring by mistake. That's okay. Make payments on it.
No
Man,
worries.
you're gonna be loved.
I know. I know, I'm tooling around on the site, and it's a very easy site to maneuver. And it's great that it is, because a lot of people, if you got a website that's not easy to navigate, people will dive off of it faster than who knows what. So I just tooled around on it in a couple of the categories. You have bridal, jewelry, mountings, diamonds, and gemstones, and then you've got drop-down menus with like about 15 different categories that each of those can fall under for looking, so.
I have a young nephew that's just an absolute guru with websites, and his motto is, if you can't get to where you need to get to within 2 or 3 clicks, you're done.
Right.
And so that's the key. You gotta just be able to get to where you need to go real fast.
Mhm.
But that's the other thing too, let's be honest, not everybody out there in the world's a computer wizard. So you gotta keep it simple, keep it easy. But, you know, jewelry is one of those kind of categories where, you know, with guys come into the office, they know cars, they know a lot of things, but when it comes to diamonds, it's a bit scary. So you never know who to trust or who to really believe in, and that's, you know, we're comfortable in educating and teaching and giving people comfort in their process of making a decision.
One of the things that I experienced with these guys is when I took Cami over there last February for her birthday and Valentine's Day, and it's almost atypical of what we're talking about here online. We actually had a chance to do it with you guys right there, and design and pick out certain things, and the attention to detail was so amazing that when the finished product came out, it absolutely looked exactly what it was supposed to. And the fact that over the past almost year now, if she has not gotten, and I'm gonna be 50, at least 50 different comments from people about not just the stones and the arrangement, but just how well it looked. And you know, it's funny because she gives me the credit. She said, "You designed it." I said, "No, I had Dave and Rich there, and it was just like, you know, it was like a blueprint, right?"
Sure. Well,
And it was amazing.
Well, that's what's so interesting about our world today. You know, the day when I broke into the jewelry industry in 1977, I guess I'm really telling on myself now. But, you know, in that day, and it's still true with a lot of jewelers today, the tremendous amount of investment you need to make in inventory. And the problem is gold is so volatile. We're dealing with commodities, and if you buy at $1,900, which is what gold was not too long ago, and now it's at 12, well, half your inventory was just devalued by over a third. So, you know, our goal is to just never get that invested, but computers and CAD/CAM technology allow us to not have 70% of our inventory dead, because
Yeah.
you're selling 20% or 30% of what you stock, and the rest of it is dead inventory sitting there, and it's tying up your capital. So, you know, we just think the consumer really has a good idea of what they're looking for. And with computers, we can design it for them and actually give them a visual, almost a photograph, of what it will look like when it's completed. And that's just one of the advantages you get when you come visit us at the office. And I appreciate what you said, Ricky. It's very true, and we appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
No, it's amazing too, and the fact that these guys have treated, not just myself, because I know other people have been there, treated themselves with such respect, dignity. They're the type of people that you want to do business with, because they give you the opportunity to make you feel like this was important to them.
Right, and that's what makes DNR House of Diamonds unique to the industry. I mean, you can walk into the big box stores, and you know, I'm not going to mention any of them to give them any credit, but you're not really dealing with a personalized attention that you get in the philosophy that Dave and Rich have in their business. I mean, you only can see them by appointment. This is not a retail shop per se that you're going to go in at 10 and they're open till 9, and you're just going to see whoever's behind the counter.
Who could be, you know, with all due respect, a minimum wage clerk.
Exactly, who's not educated in the industry. And with DNR House of Diamonds, you're getting an appointment, one-on-one service, attention to detail is focused on you, and that's what really makes DNR House of Diamonds unique in what they offer. Check out their Yelp reviews. They're listed on Yelp with well over 50 reviews, and now you said a couple of weeks ago you're on yellowpages.com as well.
We're on Yellow Pages, also Google Plus, and you can find us in the Better Business Bureau. We're one of their accredited businesses there.
Right.
And, you know, again, going back to the experience, we designed the concept to really, truthfully, we have no intention of growing. Now that sounds weird, but the fact is, we love what we do.
Right.
And where else can you go and get professional service from the owner? And
Right.
in most businesses, that's tough to do.
It's almost impossible.
And when you can set an appointment and you're talking to the decision maker behind the case, but that decision maker, and I can say this is true about me and Rich, have incredible amounts of experience in that industry.
Mhm.
It's just comfortable to be able to make a decision
Right.
because you're getting great information, and it makes it easier for you to put thoughts together and make a final decision.
Absolutely, and it's funny, because I asked you about this at last week's meeting, because I did make it there this morning about black onyx. I mean, Robin and I just love the black onyx stone. And,
Me
you know,
too.
and, you know, we always talk about diamonds and
Sure.
heavy jewelry, and I asked Dave, you know, do you deal with black onyx? I said, yeah, we do anything you want. So the site that he has us going over to the shop on, I mean, there's some gorgeous pieces out there that they had. Now, these are pieces that if someone selects a piece, you don't have these in inventory, but they would be designed off of what you have here,
Yeah,
is that correct?
what typically happens is these are styles that are through a company that we partner with.
Okay,
They warehouse many of these pieces. For example, if you click on one,
okay,
you'll notice that on the blow-up in the right-hand corner, right above or right by the price, it'll say if it's available today or
Oh,
not available.
out of stock.
Okay, some are, some
Right.
aren't. But if it's out of stock,
Right.
usually it can be manufactured within about 2 weeks.
Okay,
But most items are in stock, and we can get them within 24 hours. That's the other cool thing. It's rare that you can get some turned. You're not waiting a week or two for the
Right.
package. It's overnighted to us. So that's pretty awesome as well. We're not messing around, especially if you have a short window. And let's be honest, those guys like to shop at the very last minute. And so if you can't pick something up right at that moment in the shop,
Right.
if you give me 24 hours, I can help you out. If you give me less
Absolutely.
than that, I'm in trouble.
yeah, exactly.
24 hours, most of the time, I can take good care of it.
Well, I think this is gonna be my year, because last year, you know, we wanted to, you know, celebrate Cammy and her stuff.
Right,
So she says, you know, you got the retirement coming up, you got the 70th birthday coming up. She says, and I know you love star sapphires. So before the end of the year, when we have our appointment to take care of our business, watch out. She might be on the lookout for my April present.
Well, I'll give you some history on Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire is actually a created gem.
Yes, it
It was
is.
originally created by Union Carbide, and on the back of the stone there was always an L engraved, and that was for Lindy Star. And that's where it came from, but the original derivative of that material was used for coating the inside of large machinery to reduce friction. So there, like you have a sapphire watch or a jeweled watch, well, this was on a much larger industrial level, so they created this material to cut friction down in large equipment. Later it evolved into what we know as blue or star sapphires. Again, they're a created gem, man-made gem, but they have that beautiful asterism in the middle.
Amazing.
And a lot of times that's what's so incredible. But that's just a little taste of some of the experience and background information we have on a lot of different gems that you might be interested in.
See, that's why you want to go to a place like DNR, because not only do they get you what you want, but they educate you along the way. And it makes you feel a little bit better that, hey, look what I got, and here's the reason why I got it, because these guys gave me
Sure.
all this information.
Well, that's what's cool about gems. There's all kinds of lore. You know, the whole deal of diamonds comes from the word amas, which means conquerable or unconquerable. And that's what the Greeks wore into battle, the Romans wore into battle, because they believed it was a talisman that protected them against any kind of injury or harm.
How do you explain the mad rush of these colored diamonds over the past 10 years? The
Well-
chocolate and the vanilla and the strawberry and, you know, the coconut cookies and cream. Where did this come from?
Well-
Because it's back in the 60s. That's it, you know, yellow, white, that's
Well,
all.
now you'll get me going, but you know, you have to really understand how diamonds get colored. For example, a normal diamond, when it's within 170 miles deep within the earth, and all of us know what graphite golf clubs are and graphite tennis rackets, well, that's a diamond. It's 100% carbon. At 170 miles deep within the earth, under tremendous pressure, under tremendous heat, that material actually almost becomes molten. And when it's in that state, it gets exposed to nitrogen. And it's the most common gas, I guess, that it gets exposed to, and that's what gives it its brown or its yellow color. The absence of that in a gem causes it to be extremely rare, and that's where you get into your colorless diamonds, etc. Now, if it's any other color of the spectrum, other than brown or yellow, it can just be infinitesimally blue, and that diamond is off the charts expensive. It could be a 1 carat stone that's worth $250,000.
Wow.
Where a typical 1 carat is 4,000 or 5,000 hypothetically. But if today we have such ability to recreate Mother Nature in a laboratory, that we can take diamonds that are maybe not the most preferred color and expose them to high temperature, high heat, high pressure, and almost dial in a color. So you started with a gem that wasn't that expensive, but ended up with a gem that's very unique in color and it's stable. It will hold over time. But just to give people a little bit of an idea of the rarity of diamonds, and this is a visual for you, there's an old saying in the jewelry industry, you have to move 250 tons of ore to find a 1-carat diamond. Well, to put that in perspective, most of us guys love golf. So
Right.
let's
Right.
imagine your fairway that you always hate because it's a 550-yard fairway, par 5.
Right.
Let's put 250 Ford F-150 trucks side by side on that fairway
Okay.
and fill their beds full of dirt. That's how much material has to be moved
For 1
just to
carat.
find a 1-carat diamond of any grade.
Wow.
So when you think about it, how much did that diamond cost? And how much does it cost to move that kind of dirt?
Right.
Not that bad of a deal.
Right. Right.
Not too shabby.
And one more cool fact I'll share with the audience out there, which I think this is why I love gems. Any diamond, I don't care what diamond you have, it's grandma's, mom's, sister's, it doesn't matter. Just go touch it this evening. Just touch that diamond. Because you just touched something that's almost 2, in some cases 3 billion, that's with a B, years old. It's an amazing to me. It predates life as we know it.
Sure.
It
Sure.
predates cellular life
Wow.
as we know it. You can't get a better antique than that. And that's
Right.
what's cool about it. I always love people come and say, well, is that a used diamond? I'll say, well, it was used about 2 billion years ago. But,
And it
you know,
cuts glass.
Exactly. So, there's just crazy cool stuff about gems that, we love to teach and advise and let our clients know about. And it just adds, I think, to the wonderment, to the fun, to the wow factor that I think every young lady loves. Since she was 5 years old, she's always wondered what her engagement ring's going to look like.
Right.
And we love delivering that perfect gift.
Right, and the experience, it's, somebody said today at a meeting I went to, they talked about how buying a home is probably the most expensive investment you make, and, I'm sure there's jewelry out there that can equate to the same price as a home, but,
And then some.
I think buying a piece of jewelry, whether it's an engagement ring or wedding ring or just because or whatever, it's still a pretty important investment
Sure.
because of what's tied to that piece of jewelry. And to go into a shop to be educated, to go into an experienced environment to where you and Rich can educate the buyer, and so that the consumer can feel good about their purchase, that they're educated, that they know it in their heart that they're making the best purchase based on information that you've just given them, and they feel good about their purchase. With all due respect, you can't put a price tag on that.
No, you
Not
can't.
a chance.
They talk about, in young ladies' lives, what's the most important event of their life. And I think number one is probably the birth of their first child. Most people agree is probably number one. You would think number two is their wedding. It isn't. It's the engagement.
It sure is.
And we have a lot of guys that come in and they're scared. They're like deers in headlights.
Sure.
They're
Sure.
worried about making the right decision. And we always say we're there to really help them not mess it up. We want to help them get the information, help them with the price point, make sure they're getting the absolute
Right.
best value, and we listen. That's something that's lacking, in my opinion. A lot of people try to sell.
Right.
You got to listen. What is she like? What's her taste go towards? Does she like vintage? Does she like something more contemporary? What kind of clothing does she wear? How tall is she? All these little things go into what kind of ring might be the perfect ring for her.
Right.
Sure, does she have long fingers?
Sure,
and stuff?
sure. But it's that knack and skill of learning over the years and kind of
Right.
reading to the point where we can really assist in helping you make the perfect choice.
Absolutely. John?
This is something that will never lose its value either, right?
Well, that's a really great question. We just all went through probably one of the worst recessions our country has ever faced, and you saw fluctuation in gold.
Right.
But if you watch the diamond pricing, it didn't jump, it didn't go up, which it traditionally does, about 5 to 10% every 5 years, but it stayed stable.
Yeah.
And your larger stones even appreciated. So,
Oh, don't say stones, please.
I forgot, that's kind of a tender spot for me.
Yeah, please.
Okay. But at the end of the day, they're a wonderful, wonderful thing, and you're right, they don't go down in value. A lot of people ask me, and I'll be straightforward, is it a great investment? The truth is, if you're buying at retail, no, it's not a great investment. But if you have the opportunity to buy at a price that's maybe just above wholesale, because no one sells at wholesale, I don't care what anybody says, that means they're selling it at what they bought it for, and that ain't true. That's just all there is to it. But if you can buy it close to that number, and one of our goals is to try to be as close to that number as we can, that's why we're trying to eliminate the overhead, so we're not trying to carry all of that weight as a business, it very quickly catches up over time with what you paid. And then you can liquidate a lot more easier than if you'd have bought a diamond at a much higher markup. And, you know, let's be honest, there's lots and lots of stores out there that operate at all different expense levels, and it impacts their pricing.
Right, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
can also tell you that back in the sixties, when we were first looking at diamonds back then,
Right.
you were talking about a 1 carat diamond, you mentioned something like around $5,000.
Sure.
Back then it was only 1,000
Sure.
for
Well,
a 1 carat.
you know, it's funny, even today, people ask, well, what's the best one to sell for? Well, a D flawless 1 carat is somewhere between 19 and 22,000, depending upon where the jeweler has it marked. But the typical 1 carat that we would consider a beautiful, bright, pretty stone that's not overkill to some degree,
Right.
is still in that $6,000 to $7,000 price range on average.
Which,
So,
you know, back in the day is like, are you kidding? You could get a 10 carat ring for that price.
Right, right.
sure, exactly.
I know you're going to be in transition soon to a new location,
Sure.
but you're currently located where?
We're currently located in Tivoli Village. The easiest way to come visit us, number one, is set an appointment online at our website. It's that, the website is primarily black and blue.
Which is what your wallet will feel.
That's
No,
right.
no, only kidding.
But at the top, there's an odd green button. It's green on purpose. We want you to want it to stick out, so if you click that, it takes you to our appointment calendar. You can book a time that's convenient. And that will also send you directions and reminders about your appointment. But the office currently is in Tivoli Village. We are in the Regis Office Center. By the way, the Regis people have been incredibly good to us. We are on the 3rd floor in the Rotunda building, which is the center tower. If you're outside looking at the buildings, we are above David Barton's gym. So that's the easiest way to find us. Take the middle elevator out of the parking garage up to the 3rd floor. That's the quickest way. But we did finalize our lease this week,
Yay!
and we are very, very excited about our new offices, which will be on the 4th floor, Suite 440, in 1 Summerlin. That's that big blue building
The
in
downtown
downtown
Summerlin.
Summerlin. So
Very cool.
But is that,
that is, we should be in there by early part of April. So
All
we're
right,
pretty
very
excited
nice.
about that, and that's that big building that was kind of the sign of the recession that stood there for
That's
so
right.
long.
That's right.
And how did we know our future was gonna be tied there? But it's in a great center. The shopping center there is incredible. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, you should.
do you have
But,
expanded hours during the holidays?
we do. Again, you know, Rich and I, if you can book online, but there's a number for you to call as well. It'll ring my phone or Rich's phone personally. And if you need to meet us late, after hours, or even early, hey, it's our business, what we love to do. It's this time of the year. We've gotta do what we need to do to take care of our clients.
Again, the benefit of that one-on-one service that you're not gonna get in your old box store style of merchandising, so. Dave, thank you for coming on, man. We
Well, I
appreciate your support.
Appreciate you
and-
giving us the time. Thanks.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure, and folks, just remember, you know, that last minute gift, or the holidays, engagements, whatever, just because, DNR House of Diamonds, that's the place to be with Dave or Rich, and make sure you tell them Vegas Unwrapped if you heard about him here with Phillips and Cash.
Absolutely.
All right. With that, we're gonna step aside for a final break. When we come back, we're gonna banter about a couple of things, maybe a weird news item or two just because, but got a couple of things I want to throw at Mr. Cash, and not just my cell phone or pen. So we'll throw some questions his way and get his input. You're listening to Vegas Unwrapped here on Vegas All Net Radio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be wrapping up right after this.
And we're clear, guys.
All right, welcome back to Vegas Unwrapped. You know what that means? We're coming around the clubhouse turn, Mr. Cash.
Home stretch.
Home stretch and Bobcat and everybody else.
I gotta tell you,
Wow.
very informative night.
You know, I'll tell you what, between all the learnings of Business Connectors
Yeah.
and Dave here with Diamonds and Gems, I
We
told you
didn't-
he was a cut above. You didn't listen to me, did you?
We didn't digress.
No, if we digress in the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, but it was strange. We
Nice.
did a straight show for 2 hours. That's my point.
Melanie Cash isn't
Oh
coming here.
my God. Actually, Dave, somebody's already invited you, so check your invite box, because I see here that somebody has already tagged you to get an invite for the memorial. Okay? Yeah, we really didn't digress much, which is kind of strange for us, but
Well,
that's
it's the
okay.
last show of the year.
Yeah, I know.
We want to leave people with a good taste in their mouth. Yeah,
How
right.
much time do we have left there, Bobcat? What do we got?
You got yourself rolling just about 8.5 minutes. I got a question for Dave.
Sure, go for
Hey,
it.
Dave, man, you know, one of the best, I mean, to this day, my favorite motion picture actress, Elizabeth Taylor. You know,
Yes.
and she was always known for the big sparklers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, where do they come up with a diamond like that?
Well, we call them specials. And that whole story of how those get onto the market is incredible. But basically through De Beers, through the Central Selling Organization out of London, they're auctioned in most cases, or you have to be what's called a side holder. There's about 180 side holders a year, and you are invited by De Beers basically as a cutting house, et cetera, where you have areas of distribution, and so they allow you to come in, and it's a very interesting process. But anything that's over 5 carats, you can pick and choose. Anything under that, you get a sealed box, and that's what you get, and you just take it. But gems like that are incredible.
So she just had a jeweler that actually got to go to there and pick
That,
out the.
or there's some jewelers in New York that's all they specialize in, is stones that are 10 carats and above or larger, and that's what they do. You know, we've all heard of Harry Winston's and so forth, and that's his specialty. That's what he does.
Boy, she had some sparklers, I'll tell you.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Did, right.
If she's got him now, she's, you know, it'd be interesting to see what she's doing with him at this point, right?
I'll dig her up.
Jeez.
Now,
There we go. Now
there
we're
we
down
go.
the hub.
There we go.
All right,
I wanted to start it off.
UNLV football.
Yes,
Tony Sanchez,
yes,
the head coach from Bishop Gorman,
yes.
gets the head coaching job. Your thoughts on his position as head coach being bought by the Fertittas for $30 million?
Well, you know, so far, you know, officially no money has been exchanged. Question is that a good thing? With the situation of UNLV football where it is, I think it's the only thing that could have been done in order to rebuild this program so that over the next 5 years, it doesn't totally tank.
So you're not concerned that he doesn't have major college football experience
Not
where
at all.
most of these head coaches
Not at all,
have
because,
been, you know, coordinators or whatever before?
however, if you've read further on it, he has surrounded himself with his coaching staff of all D1 experienced coaches, coordinators, in every area. I think the guy is, you know, we may not see it in the first couple of years, but it's going to be a far cry from the Bobby Houck era.
And that's a lot coming from you,
You
because
bet.
you were a big supporter for Bobby Hawk all those years.
Well, what I was very disappointed in those years, the only thing is that he couldn't recruit from here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And now, with,
I think that's going to
that's
change.
gonna change big time, not just from Gorman, but from, you know, some of the big power schools that we do have in this city. I mean, we produce some seriously good college and NFL pro players right here in Las Vegas. So I'm all for it.
Okay? I was just curious about that because, to me, I don't like the way it's coming down. Because at some point, that $30 million is going to be donated somehow, some way.
Yeah, to fix the facilities.
To, you know, to do whatever they have to do,
Yeah.
okay? I'm just not comfortable with the way it came about. Now, you're right, he's surrounding himself with D1 coordinators tomorrow. He's supposed to announce who his defensive coordinator and I think his defensive backfield coach, he's supposed to announce them tomorrow. I'm just concerned because it's a lot different to manage and coach a college program with recruiting, and granted, whether he's gonna make an impact locally or not, that's up for debate, because if you've got these 5-star recruits who have an option to go to a program that's well situated versus a program like UNLV, I don't care where his roots are, I think he's working behind the 8 ball.
Well, there are parents that are much more involved in the decisions of 17-year-olds than there are guys that say, well, I want to go to, you know, Southern Cal. You know, parents may not want them to go there.
Parents may not want him to go there, but depending upon where his path for professional desires are, may win out over USC versus UNLV,
No question.
in my opinion.
No question about it. But nevertheless, it's any type of change at this point in time.
Oh, you had to get rid of Hawk.
It's
He
gotta-
had to have been gone after
yeah.
5 years, there's no question.
Yeah, but if I'm a young kid and I got a choice between Notre Dame, Southern Cal,
Right,
or Alabama,
right.
and their facilities,
and UNLV.
Yeah,
Right.
but we're not gonna get
What-
to those kids.
Well, but, okay.
But those are kids
even-
here
even-
locally
We're
that are
gonna
looking
get,
at those
we're gonna
schools.
get the kids that are
That's-
gonna go to University of Illinois, are gonna go to SMU, are gonna go to, you know, Texas El Paso. You know, they also produce pros, and those are the kids that I think we need to get.
Okay. I'd like to see him do well, man. I mean, you know, I'd like to see UNLV football do well. Again, their basketball team seems going to be on a good track back into a championship form. You know, I've heard a lot about stadium needs a lot of repair. They're talking about, you know, do they want to build more stadiums? Can we do this? Can we do that? I don't know. We'll have to see, but you know.
Well, we got a soccer stadium approved by city council 4-3 the other day.
That ain't going to happen.
What do you mean it's not gonna
It's
happen?
not going to happen. I'm going to tell you why.
Tell me
First
why.
of all, when you get into Major League Soccer, the first thing that you've got to have is not only a stadium and a team, but the first thing before the heads of that program will even that, you've got to have a development team. That's the first thing that you got to have done. If you look over this package, for Major League Soccer, the first thing that you got to have besides the stadium is you got to have a development team ready to go to draw talent from. Just like you were talking about for Bishop Gorman in UNLV football, drawing talent from locally. That's the first thing. I don't see this happening. I really don't.
Well, the money's already been approved and the whole program's been.
But that's based on getting a team.
Yeah, based on that.
That's true.
That's
you
based
gotta
on
have the
getting a
And
team.
then the
If
second
we don't-
part of
Alright.
it is you gotta have that developmental stage
Right.
put in there.
So let me ask this question. Would you guys rather see a professional soccer team here or a professional hockey team here, which there's been talk about?
Whoa.
I think we could do both.
I think you could do, I'd rather see hockey first.
So would I.
I think I'd rather see hockey first and then.
Because hockey had such a great following with the Wranglers
Yes.
and the
Oh,
Thunder
yeah.
before that. I'm not sold that our,
More kids in this town.
How about a
Play
nice
soccer.
AAA baseball stadium?
absolutely,
Yeah,
I
go for
totally
it.
agree with that.
Aren't they building one? Aren't they building it?
Let's hope.
Let's go.
I mean, I for one believe that Major League Baseball will be the first professional sport here in Vegas
I
before
think
anything else.
it'll be hockey for
So,
sure.
well, yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
that's got more of a chance. All right, with that, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating, to all of you from Vegas Unwrapped. I want to thank all of our guests tonight: Dave Padgett, Doug Forrester, Ernie Martin, Rick Knowles, Julie Winkler, you the guest, Mr. Cash, hopefully 2015.
Stella.
Oh, and Stella, thank you very much.
Stella.
Jeez, how could I forget Stella? Be kind to each other because we're going into New Year, Mr. Cash, is that right?
You bet,
And why is that?
because we're all we have and we gotta make it count.
We'll be back live on January 8th, 2015. Mark it on your calendar because we're going to be rocking next year.
On behalf of John Stiles and myself, your production crew, may you have a great, happy season, guys.
Thank you. You too, Bobcat. All right, be well, everybody. We'll see you next year.